Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 5, Text number 16, in the matter of Narada Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha. Sishti apyaya karimaya velankulanta vegitam Matyasya tama vignasya kimasat karma birbhavet. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Narada Muni has said that there is a river flowing in both directions. The Aryashvas understood the purport of this statement. Material nature functions in two ways, by creation and dissolution. Thus the river of material nature flows both ways. A living entity who unknowingly falls in the river is submerged in its waves, and since the current is swifter near the bank of the river, he is unable to get out. What will be the benefit of performing fruity activities in that river of Maya? Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Purport. One may be submerged in the waves of the river of Maya, but one may also get free from the waves by coming to the banks of knowledge and austerity. Near the banks, however, the waves are very strong. If one does not understand how he is being tossed by the waves, but simply engages in temporary fruitive activities, what benefit will he derive? In the Brahma Samhita 5.44, there is this statement, Sishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibarti Durga. The Maya Shakti, Durga, is in charge of Sishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, creation and dissolution, and she acts under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sai Characharam. Bhagavad Gita 9.10. When one falls in the river of nescience, he is always tossed here and there by the waves. But the same Maya can also save him when he surrenders to Krishna or he becomes Krishna conscious. Krishna consciousness is knowledge and austerity. A Krishna consciousness person takes knowledge from the Vedic literature and at the same time he must practice austerities. To attain freedom from material life, one must take to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, if one very busily engages in so-called advancement of science, what benefit will he derive? If one is carried away by the waves of nature, what is the meaning of being a great scientist or philosopher? Mundane science and philosophy are also material creation. One must understand how Maya works and how one can be released from the tossing waves of the river of nescience. That is one's first duty. Thus in the Bhaktivedanta purport. So in this chapter we have been reading how Narada Muni preached to the sons of Daksha who were performing very severe tapasya, austerity for progeny. But Narada Muni saw their sincere tapasya. They said why they should get involved in these fruity activities of creation and in this samsara. So, when they understood the ultimate goal of life, immediately they just changed their plan. And that's why this chapter is also says, Daksha cursed Narada Muni. And Daksha was upset. We read in the earlier verses how he first produced 10,000 sons and he wanted them to create the progeny, Aryashvas. And his purpose was defeated. Again Daksha produced 1,000 children. Later they were also, we'll see, they were also converted into devotees, pure devotees. So, according to Vedic civilization, it is mentioned, unless one is inquisitive, particularly in the human form of life, only we can inquire about all these things. What is the ultimate goal of life? So their father had given one direction. So they were practicing in following its their in father's footstep. But when he got a higher instruction, he easily gave it up. So that's why in the scripture it is said that if somebody is not inquiring about our own self, about the ultimate goal of life, that is Shreyas, generally people are driven by this immediate benefit, immediate goal of life. So here, because he came in touch with Narada, actually he got that spiritual benefit. So Prabhupada explains, if we are not inquiring in the human form of life, actually we are no better than animals. Because only in the human form of life, we can inquire about the higher values of life. Atahato Brahma Jignasa. Only in the human form, now that you have got this human form, and we know in that 84 lakh species, 4 lakh forms in the human being, and come to the developed consciousness is very, very rare. So we should not miss this opportunity. Because material world is presented in such a way. That's why this verse is talking about Maya. Because the material world is full of problems. Krishna himself certified Dukhalem Ashashvatam. And what we do, we try to solve a problem. We try to solve a problem. By the time you solve the problem, another 10 problems, 100 problems are lined up. Prabhupada gives many examples. Just like in the Western world, or in India also nowadays, they are making subways, highways, then highways, above highways, all these things they make. Why? Because there is a lot of traffic congestion is there. So they are engaged in so much hard labor to solve this problem, traffic problem. Particularly in Bangalore, it is very famous or infamous. All over the world they know. In fact, there was an article that next to London, India is the most congested in traffic, actually it is mentioned. Because to cover 10 miles, 10 kilometers, you need some 30 minutes or something. They have worked out all this thing. So see, but you are trying to solve the problem. That problem is not getting solved. And we do not know what is our real problem. What is the real problem? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. That is the real problem. So you make some arrangement like this. That's why Prabhupada, the end of the purport, he mentions also. What is the meaning of being a great scientist or philosopher? Mundane science and philosophy are also material creation. Because whatever you create in this world, it is coming out of your mental speculation. So again, there will be a problem. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, many examples he gives, like United Nations Organization, UNO, it is created. There are so many countries members of this, correct? Idea is we should have a peaceful living condition in all the country. But you see, there is no peace. They're full of problems. Right now also we are seeing 2 countries are fighting, Russia and Ukraine. So this will go on actually. Intentions are good, but the solution which they are coming out, that is not going to solve the problem. That's why we can get the information from the Vedic literature. Prabhupada brings out that point also. See, Prabhupada, so thorough conviction. Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is knowledge and austerity. A Krishna consciousness person takes knowledge from Vedic literature. Why? Because any other knowledge you get from the science or the philosopher, it's full of defects. Because they are defective. All conditioned soul in this world, we know we are bound by that 4 defects. So whatever grand, whatever plan you make is going to be defective. So but when you take information from Vedic literature, it is actually given by God, Apurishaya. It's not created by a person of this world. So Prabhupada says here, a Krishna conscious person takes knowledge from the Vedic literature, and at the same time, he must practice austerities. Before that, Prabhupada writes, Krishna conscious means knowledge and austerity. So only knowledge is also not sufficient. We have to become austere, we have to take tapasya, we have to understand all these things, how this works. So we are fortunate that we have come in touch with Srila Prabhupada's movement. So these things, at least we are able to understand theoretically. So, what is the ultimate problem? Shastra, there is a nice verse Prabhupada quote, Atyantaka Dukha Nivritti. Atyantika, what is the ultimate suffering or miseries? So, Nivritti means we have to stop or we have to mitigate, we have to finish that misery. That we should work for. And that is possible only in the human form of life. That's why human form of life is very, very rare. And when you come to this, we should not work hard for making a big industry, making big houses, all these. Okay, these things it has got a place. We don't say it's, but that should not be driving us throughout our life. Because suddenly one day we are kicked out. We are finished. So there are big people who are working for the president of a country, prime minister, all these things. Within a fraction of second gone. Prabhupada always mentions about President of America, Kennedy, during Prabhupada time. So, he was so powerful, nice family, people are thinking he's very happy, and he was going to address a gathering. Within a fraction of a second, he's shot, he's dead. That is the nature of this material world. We want to be free from all these things, but we'll be forced to quit this present body. So that's why, but if you see living entity, we want to have a joyful life. Everybody wants Ananda, correct? Ananda, what is it? Anandamayo Abhyasat. We are all looking for Ananda. We are all pleasure seekers. But unfortunately, we are seeking Ananda in the wrong place. Just like if animals in the forest, it's very scorching heat, sun is there. They'll be running, they'll be thirsty. They want to get water. But they will not get water in the forest. Difficult. So when they run, see, it's like a mirage. When they run, there's a reflection. It looks like water. So they go near, again there is no water. And they die because of this. This is illusion. This is actually Maya. So, but it is not possible in this material world to get that real Ananda. We are all seeking Ananda. Ananda is not possible in this material world. So, Ananda is there somewhere else. Where we can get that joy, happiness, bliss that is actually in the spiritual world. So, Prabhupada quotes a nice Bengali poet's word. Sukhera lagiya he gara bandila hanale puriya gela. See, people work hard to build a house, particularly if somebody is in a middle class family or something. It's a lifetime project because they'll have only one house. They'll spend a lot of money, they will supervise and all these things. You build a house, and suddenly something happens, some fire comes, or this thing is finished actually. That's what this verse says. So, I constructed the house, I wanted to live very happily, merrily with my family and my friends I can invite, my relatives I can invite, but suddenly some calamity happens like this and it is gone. So your full life is gone waste actually if you analyze. So all of a sudden there will be fire and everything is lost, everything is vanquished. But something or the other will put us always in a miserable condition. That's why actually when Krishna speaks this, Dukhalem Ashashvatam, we quote also, we should actually try to understand this. It's full of miseries only. It may look like everything is comfortable right now, everything is going on according to my plan. But just a fraction of a second, it will be gone. So we are not under the control. Everything is under the control of the Lord, of this material nature. That's why Prabhupada quote, this Maya Shakti, Durga is in charge of creation and dissolution, and she acts under the direction of Krishna. Maya dakshena prakriti suete se characharam. Etunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartade. So, in the Bhagavatam, in the first canto, I think, yes, when Krishna was winding up his pastime, so Arjuna is always recalling the instructions of Lord Sri Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Correct? So Prabhupada says, see, there are so many people reading Bhagavad Gita for years together, writing commentary, they are not able to understand. Whereas Arjuna understands Bhagavad Gita maybe in one and a half hours, like that Prabhupada says. In 90 minutes, he understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So, when Yudhishthira Maharaj had sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to find out what has happened, and he is coming back, and then he is recollecting verse after verse. So Arjuna, when he is recollecting the message or the instruction which he received from the Supreme Lord Krishna, actually he is free from all miseries of this world. Because mental world is designed in such a way. Lord does not want us to settle down here. So, but foolishly we think we can make some arrangement, we can just get away from this problem, I'll do some material adjustment, I can go on. If you make everything nicely also, one day it will be finished. So that is the thing. So, Prabhupada mentioned that, so he was relieved from all the miseries. Because he was feeling, they were feeling Pandava, they were feeling separation from Krishna. Because when Krishna was there, everything was nice. Now that Krishna is no more with us, what will happen? Kunti Maharani is also offering wonderful prayers. So Prabhupada explains that actually material existence means it's a blazing fire. Samsara dhavanala. So this material existence is full of miseries. It's like compared to a forest fire. When the fire happens in the forest, there is no other way but the cloud has to bring, only rain can put off the fire. So, intelligent person should inquire about all these things. That's why this Bhagavatam, very nice verse, in the first canto again, it is mentioned, Tassaiva eto prayateta kovida na labhyate yat brahmatam upari adaha. Persons who are actually intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet Patala. Because as far as happiness derived from the sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. See, enjoyment, whatever little material flickering happiness we get, automatically it comes, correct? So, then it says, just as in course of time, we obtain miseries, even though we do not desire them. So, nobody is desiring to get miseries, but miseries are inflicted upon us, just as happiness comes upon us. So, this human form of life is not for trying to increase our mundane material happiness. No. So, person who is intelligent and philosophically inclined should endeavor only for that purposeful end, that which is not obtainable. Even when you attain Brahma Loka, you will not get all these things. That is this spiritual knowledge. So, because this verse speak, and Prabhupada quote that Devi Esha Gunamai. So, when one falls in the river of nescience, he is always tossed here and there by the waves. But the same Maya can also save him when he surrenders to Krishna or become Krishna consciousness. So, Maya, we all know, acts in two ways. Technically, it is called Avarnatmika Shakti, that is the covering Shakti, covering potency of Maya or illusion, and Prakshepa Atmika Shakti, that is pulling down or throwing down. So, in the first case, Avarnatika, our knowledge is covered actually. Real fact is covered. The first misunderstanding is that we think we are this body. So our real fact, real knowledge is covered. Just like Prabhupada gives many examples. Clouds is covering the sunshine. Sun is always there. Sometimes on a cloudy day, you don't get sun for a couple of days here. Sun is always present. But this cloud is covering the sun. So, similarly, Prabhupada there he says, Maya does not allow us to see Krishna. So Maya is again Krishna's agent. She is doing her job. Prabhupada also explained just like a thankless job, like the police department. Police department, when somebody is criminal, is caught, is punished, police does a thankless job on behalf of the government. So, this is one example of how the real fact is covered. Prabhupada often gave this example also, how the hog or a pig lives in a very filthy condition. Correct? And it eats all unmentionable things. Still the hog thinks that he is happy because he gets a lot of opportunity for sense gratification. We know in that pastime how Indra was cursed to become a hog, and after few moments, after Brahmaji, who is in charge of this material creation, he is finding it difficult to manage without Indra in the heavenly kingdom. So he comes down and he requests Indra, please come back to the heavenly. What is your life? Heavenly kingdom, you are Indra, Mahendra, you are the king. But immediately, Prabhupada very humorously tells, this pig, this hog says, no, how I can come? I got this family responsibility, I got my wife, I got my children, all these things. See, Indra, what a position. But you are conditioned in such a way, because you are covered by that Avarnatmaka Shakti actually, by the covering potency. So you lose your knowledge, you come under a spell of illusion, you are in the science actually. And second one is Prakshepatmika Shakti, correct? There Prabhupada writes, everyone desires to see Krishna, but Maya throws away. Because she wants to see whether we are sincere, seeker of truth. That's why many times we come across some devotees join, people take to Krishna consciousness for a while, suddenly something happens, some reversal happens, they'll quit Krishna consciousness, as if this is not solving their problem. But it's not like that. So, she is doing her duty, she is testing us. So we have to become serious and sincere, and we have to pass the examination. So, that's why this Prabhupada said that Maya is dragging. Why you are escaping from me? You have to suffer under me. You have to get beatings from me. Like that. That is what Maya does. Maya is punishing the living entity who are disobeying the law of the nature, law of Lord. She is doing that duty. Correct? So, if you want to become Krishna consciousness, if you want to become Krishna conscious, we have to become sincere, serious, then only we can get relief from this material energy. And the simple solution, that same verse says that Daivi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratya. It's very, very difficult to overcome this because this divine energy of Lord. Mamevai prapadyante Maya metam taranti. So unless we surrender unto Krishna, we cannot get over this Maya. So ultimate problem is not this economical problem or wealth or family problem or this or that. These are all maybe some symptoms of problem. Ultimate problem is death. Because we have to change this body one day or the other. Maybe you live 50 years, 100 years, you have to quit this body. So what type of body you will get? So in the human form of life, we can make solution to this. Because by nature we don't want to die. We are all eternal. Sat Chit Ananda. We don't want to die. That's why even an old man who is on the deathbed, he don't want to leave this body. Still he is struggling, suffering, so many things are happening. He don't want to quit. Because he thinks if I die, that's all, finish. No, actually when you die, you are going to take another body. This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is explaining. So this is the power of Maya, that real problem is birth. So death is a problem. Birth is also a problem. Bhagavatam very categorically explains in the third canto, Kapila Devi is explaining how we are packed up in our mother's womb. For 10 months we are like packed up, we just can't do anything. Correct? So that is also a misery. Then diseases, everybody gets disease in this world. Then there's old age. So, real problem. So, to get away from this problem, Prabhupada gives the example, nice example. Like problems are there, everybody is facing problems. Just like rabbits. Rabbit, when he sees the hunter, he knows he is going to be finished. He will die. So what does the rabbit does? It closes his eyes. Similarly, sometimes we see here and there cat running, correct? When there is danger, when they see some danger, they close their eye. As if they close their eye, they are safe. No, they will be dead immediately. They will be shot. They will be killed. Correct? So, similarly, Prabhupada says, we close our eyes to all this reality. So, this is called Maya or illusion. So, Krishna consciousness is solution to all problems of life. So, Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kachid etati siddhe etatam api siddhanam kachinma vetit. So, out of many thousands and thousands of people, hardly few will come to me, few will know me. Then later on in the same chapter, Krishna says, Bhaunam janmanam ante jnanamama prapadyate. See, there also the same thing, surrender. So Krishna is giving a clue of surrender in the Bhagavad Gita from the 7th chapter onwards, and finally concludes in the 18th chapter, Sarvadharma. So, why not Bhaunam Jan, after many births and death, one has to surrender. So Prabhupada explained the logic. He is saying, why not surrender now only? Why you have to wait for so many lives? Just like the jnanis and karmis, they go through different things, even yogis, they go to different process. And ultimately you have to surrender. Now only you surrender and make your life perfect. So Prabhupada explained that our philosophy is Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. We want to make people of the world happy and to get away from all these miseries of birth, death, old age, disease by giving this message of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, this Krishna conscious philosophy. And our ultimate goal should be to go back home, back to Godhead. Then only we are very safe. Otherwise we are not at all safe. Everything, all the material arrangement we can make around us. But the reality is that we are not safe. We can leave this body anytime and everything will be squared up. So this is simply, it is possible when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced and Prabhupada took all over the world. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Actually, we can be free from all dangers and we can achieve the highest perfection in the human form of life. Then we can escape from the influence of Maya or illusory energy. These are some of the points. I'll stop here. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.